Taiwan expects to deploy 2 new submarines by 2027. Taiwan wins first women's judo gold in Asian Games history. Russian foreign minister to visit North Korea next month. Philippines removes Chinese barrier at disputed Shoal. Ukraine says Russian Black Sea Fleet commander killed. Armenians leaving Nagorno-Karabakh amid fear of ethnic cleansing. Even 1.4 billion people can't fill all of China's vacant homes. Top Chinese university scraps English tests for graduation.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Tuesday, September 26th, and here are your top stories. Reuters cited the head of the program as saying Taiwan hopes to deploy at least 2 new domestically developed submarines by 2027 and possibly equip later models with missiles to strengthen deterrence against the Chinese Navy and protect key supply lines. Admiral Huang Shuguang, China's security advisor, who is leading the program, said this month in an internal briefing on the project, "If we can build up this combat capacity, I don't think we will lose the war."
Huang said the first submarine, with a price tag of 49.36 billion Tongan Paingas, $1.54 billion, will use a combat system by Lockheed Martin and carry U.S.-made Mk-48 heavyweight torpedoes. It will enter sea trials next month before delivery to the Navy by the end of 2024. Huang said for subsequent models, Taiwan will leave space for submarine-launched anti-ship missiles, but adding those weapons depends on production availability in the U.S., where capacity was already tight.
Taiwan's Queen of Judo Lin Chenling won gold in the women's 57 kg category at the Asian Games on Monday, making her the first Taiwanese female athlete to win gold in judo at the Asian Games. In the gold medal contest, Lin faced off against Japan's famous judoka Tomoki Momo. During 4 minutes and 90 seconds of action, Lin earned a decisive wazari by landing a kochigeshi, a small inner reaping throw counter, on her opponent.
Lin's gold medal was also Taiwan's second ever in the sport at the quadrennial competition, coming 1 day after Yang Yongwei's triumph in the men's under 60 kilograms weight class final Sunday. Lin was competing in an Asian Games for the 4th time, with her best previous showing bronze medals in 2010 in Guangzhou and in 2018 in Jakarta. When asked 4 days ago whether this would be her last Asian Games, Lin said she would reveal her decision after finishing Monday's competition.
Yonhap News reported Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will visit North Korea next month, following a rare summit between the two countries' leaders in September. According to Yonhap, Lavrov will go to the capital Pyongyang in October, which was revealed by Russia's top diplomat at a press conference in New York last Saturday. North Korea's Kim Jong-un traveled to Russia earlier this month for a summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in their first meeting in about 4 years.
Yonhap said Putin accepted Kim's invitation to visit North Korea, and so this may be the agenda for Lavrov's trip. During his Russia trip, Kim also met with Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, inspected next-generation missile systems, and toured a factory that makes fighter jets and other aircraft. Kim's Russia visit was one of his longest abroad since taking power about a decade ago. The U.S. has for months accused Kim of providing arms and ammunition to aid Putin's war, including sending shells and rockets.
The Philippines said on Monday it executed a special operation to remove a floating barrier installed by China at a prime fishing patch in the South China Sea. The Philippines expressed outrage on Sunday and shared images of Chinese Coast Guard policing a longbow buoy barrier near the Scarborough Shoal. Hours after the National Security Advisor had vowed to take action, the Philippine Coast Guard said it had removed the floating cordon at the behest of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his Special Task Force on the South China Sea.
The Philippine Coast Guard said, the barrier posed a hazard to navigation, a clear violation of international law. It also hinders the conduct of fishing and livelihood activities of Filipino fisherfolk, describing the shoal as an integral part of the Philippine national territory. China's foreign ministry made no direct mention of the floating barrier but earlier on Monday defended the actions of its Coast Guard as necessary measures, after a Philippine Bureau of Fisheries vessel intruded into its waters on Friday.
Ukraine's special forces said on Monday that the commander of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, Admiral Viktor Sokolov, had been killed in a Ukrainian attack last week on the fleet headquarters in the Crimean port of Sevastopol. The Ukrainian military said Friday's attack had targeted a meeting of the Russian Navy's leadership in the city of Sevastopol. The special forces said after the strike on the headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, 34 officers died, including the commander of the Russian Black Sea Fleet.
The Russian Defense Ministry did not immediately respond when asked by Reuters to confirm or deny that Sokolov had been killed in the attack on Crimea, which Russia seized and annexed in 2014. Russian-installed officials confirmed the Ukrainian attack on Friday, saying that at least one missile struck the fleet headquarters. Kyiv has stepped up attacks in the Black Sea and Crimea as Ukrainian forces press on with a nearly 4-month-old counteroffensive to take back Russian-occupied territory.
120,000 ethnic Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh are leaving for Armenia on Sunday as they do not want to live as part of Azerbaijan and fear ethnic cleansing. An advisor to the president of the self-styled Republic of Artsakh, David Babayan, told Reuters, "Our people do not want to live as part of Azerbaijan. 99.9% prefer to leave our historic lands." Azerbaijan says it will guarantee their rights and integrate the region, but the leadership of the Armenians in Karabakh told Reuters that they will leave.
The Armenians of Karabakh, a territory internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan but beyond Baku's control since the breakup of the Soviet Union, were forced to declare a ceasefire on September 20th after a lightning 24-hour military operation by the much larger Azerbaijani military. The exodus of so many people from Karabakh ushers in yet another twist to the tumultuous history of mountainous Nagorno-Karabakh, which over the centuries has come under the sway of Persians, Turks, Russians, Ottomans and Soviets.
A former Chinese official said last Saturday even China's population of 1.4 billion would not be enough to fill all the empty apartments littered across the country. Former deputy head of China's Statistics Bureau, He Kang, 81, said at a forum in Dongguan, "How many vacant homes are there now? The most extreme believing the current number of vacant homes is enough for 3 billion people." According to a video released by China News Service, he said, "That estimate might be a bit much, but 1.4 billion people probably can't fill them."
Reuters reported his negative view of the economically significant sector at a public forum stands in sharp contrast to the official narrative. China's property sector, once the pillar of the economy, has slumped since 2021 when real estate giant China Evergrande Group defaulted on its debt obligations following a clampdown on new borrowing. The latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics show as of the end of August, the combined floor area of unsold homes stood at 648 million square meters.
A top university in northwest China has scrapped English tests as a prerequisite for graduation, rekindling a heated debate about the role of the world's lingua franca in the country's education system after years of rising nationalist sentiment under leader Xi Jinping. In a notice Wednesday, the Xi'an University in the capital city of Shanxi province said students will no longer need to pass a nationwide standardized English test, nor any other English exams, to be able to graduate with bachelor's degree.
The announcement caused a stir on social media, with many praising the decision and calling for more universities to do so. Passing the college English test, a national standardized exam first held in 1987, has been a graduation requirement at the majority of Chinese universities for decades. But in recent years, some universities have downgraded the importance of English, either by replacing the national college English test with their own exams or dropping English qualifications altogether as a graduation criteria.
The answer for yesterday was A, prowess. The U.S. has huge advantages in technological prowess and intellectual resources. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of top Chinese universities scrapping English tests for graduation. Number 1, prerequisite. 先决条件, 前提, 必备条件. A degree is an essential prerequisite for employment at this level. Number 2, rekindle. 是重新活跃, 是复苏. Is there anything that could rekindle his extinct passion? Number 3, sentiment. 基于情感的观点、看法、情绪. This is a sentiment I wholeheartedly agree with. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.